Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. I'm going to tell you why right now, or maybe in a month or two, is the best time to buy crypto. We know we're going to be probably in a recession for 6 to 7 months, but I do actually think crypto has hit a pretty solid bottom. As you can see, every time we have news to bring it down, it bounces back up. We actually entered the $37,000 territory on some liquidation and also some Russian war news. But over the weekend, even though there was nothing much moving the markets, as you can see, the markets came back up to almost $39,000. And that's because there's a lot of buying pressure from big whales and institutions right now. Even though the retail is not buying and the volume sucks, there is constant pressure from people like MicroStrategy, Do Kwon, and others to buy Bitcoin. Not to mention, Goldman Sachs and others who are probably secretly buying some in the background without us knowing too much. Fidelity and BlackRock are probably both going to come in. So, despite the fact that, yes, we're going into a recession, and yes, the stock market is probably going to continue dipping some, I do think crypto will come out fairly well. Now, the thing is, people were always rushing to buy in at $69,000 when Cardano was at $3, when Solana was at $250. So why not buy in now? If you look at the pattern of cryptocurrency, you know that if you buy in now, you're locking in at a very, very low price. And you know that in 2 or 3 years, it's going to be way back up, and you're going to be back up 4 or 5x at least. And that's if you're in the big coins. And many of these big coins will actually come up. Now, I wouldn't actually buy Solana because they just went down again. And I don't really want to buy a coin, a network that keeps on going down. But maybe you should switch to Luna or BNB or something, because you know these things are going to be up. And the thing is, if you buy now, you get way more ROI than if you try to FOMO in. And that's what most people get trapped into doing. They try to time the exact bottom, but at the exact bottom, people are always saying it's going to fall more. I can see it now. Like right now, it's at 38,000. It may not fall that much more, but people are yelling for 15,000 or 20,000. But when we get to 15,000 or 20,000, if we get there, which I don't think we will, people are going to be yelling for 4 or 5,000 or 10,000 because they didn't get in early enough last time. They wanted to dump to $3,000 so they can actually get in at the same price that many of us got in last time. But that's just not really going to happen. Each successive cycle bottom has been way, way higher than the last one. For instance, the last cycle bottom was about $3,000, but the one before it was actually under $1,000. And the thing is, it was actually way, way under $1,000. It was a couple $100. And that's true for all the coins. They will dump, but they won't dump that much. And use case is coming on. And the thing is, last time I know it dumped 85%. This time, if it dumped 85%, it get to 10,000. But that's really not going to happen because crypto has stabilized a lot more than it was before. There's a lot more money in it. There's a lot more support in it. There's a lot of more institutional money in it. So yes, it may not rise as high. The next peak might be just over $100,000, and that would be less than twice what the previous peak was. But the bottoms won't dump 85%. We've already dumped more than 50% in January, and the thing is, I don't think we're really going to dump that much more. 50-60% loss is already really big. If you're looking for 80% loss, you're probably going to be sitting there waiting there forever, and not really catching the price when it goes up. The problem is people keep on thinking it'll dip lower when it actually does dip lower, and then when it really comes back up, they're just left without any coins. And then they're waiting for the next cycle when they think that it'll dip as low as the last cycle. People are looking for $10,000-$20,000 now, just like they were looking for $1,000 in the last cycle, which it never really got to. Right now, we've already pretty much hit a bottom at around 30,000, 33,000, and I think it's quite unlikely that we'll dip really past that. I know a lot of the chart analytics guys are saying it can dip to 25,000 or 20,000, but they were saying the last summer, and we never really hit that. And we stayed at 28,000 for maybe a day or two before coming back up. So they're probably going to be wrong, just like they were last summer. Just like a lot of those analytics guys for the last cycle said we were going to $1,000 or $1,500. So right now would actually be a good time to buy, or at least start DCAing in, because the next cycle will probably peak at more than $100,000. If you want the 50 or 100x, you're not going to be buying top 10 coins. You might not even might not even buy coins like VeChain, because although VeChain could 20x and give you that dollar price, it won't give you like 100x and give you a $4 or $5 price. If you're looking for that, I would look at coins like Cody. I would look at other ADA ecosystem coins. I would actually look at other Luna ecosystem coins, maybe even some VET ecosystem coins. Or like right now, the gems are going to be the smaller coins on the major layer 1 networks, not the layer 1 networks themselves. The layer 1 networks themselves have actually grown too big for you to get the 100x. But for some of these smaller ecosystem coins, which could actually be very, very risky, that's the ones you want to take a look at, like Cody and others, to get that 100x that you might actually get next time, because I think it's going to be like these big projects on the layer 1s themselves that are actually going to be big next time, and maybe not the layer 1s. Just take a look at some of the DeFi, some of the NFT stuff. Those are those gems that could actually rise next time. Not all of them will, and many of them will die during the bear market, but those that survive and those that actually have solid foundations and funding. And funding is very important. You want a project that actually has funding for months or years to come. You don't want a project that's trying to constantly raise funds to keep itself alive. So do your own research, but right now is positively a good time to buy. Much better when the market is coming up and you're trying to basically FOMO in, because you're going to be buying at a much, much higher price. And these things come up very, very fast. So you got to be careful. So that's the news for the day. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.